What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason Saudi Arabia is interested in WWE. WWE actually pushed for Sami Zayn to win the Undisputed Championship. Is Triple H really underwhelmed with his returning wrestlers? Brock Lesnar not punished for going off script. WWE has massive plans for Jay White. John Cena's WWE return announced. Mike Tyson buries AEW, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. And now to the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at, is Vince McMahon asking too much for WWE? Atop of today's news, the WWE is apparently up for sale, but is this chairman Vince McMahon asking for too much? Dave Meltzer seems to think so, and recently commented on the Wrestling Observer Radio that the company is roughly worth around $6.5 billion, but rumor has it that Vince McMahon wants $9 billion. If this is true, it could explain why interest in buying the company may have cooled off. Meltzer even commented that WWE stock has fallen a bit, likely due to its asking price being too high. If McMahon's asking price is $9 billion and viewed as too high, is this an intentional effort to keep the company from being sold? If not, it may be a clever move by Vinnie Mac to lead to a purchase by a buyer where money is no object. The subject of our next story, as the real reason Saudi Arabia is interested in WWE. While the WWE's asking price might be too high for other companies, could Vince be pricing it high enough to discourage other buyers and encourage Saudi Arabia's public investment fund to buy it? Meltzer discussed the real reason for Saudi's interest in the WWE, something which may have been discussed before as to why the Saudis paid so much for the WWE holding two events in Saudi Arabia every year. The belief amongst some is that the Saudis use the event to legitimize its government, which is known for a questionable human rights record. The practice of buying legitimacy through sports is known as sports washing. While this is speculation, Vince might feel that while selling to the Saudis is going to cause some public relations problems, he can deflect these concerns with shareholders if the PIF buys the company for his asking price. Next up, WWE pushed Sami Zayn to win the Undisputed Championship. Now, while Zayn came up short, Meltzer recently reported on the Wrestling Observer Radio that there were some higher-ups who were lobbying for Sami Zayn to win. However, it appears the WWE's desire to keep its WrestleMania main event of Cody vs Roman Reigns intact won the day. Next up, conflicting reports on whether Triple H is really underwhelmed with returning wrestlers. Is Triple H dissatisfied with many wrestlers he signed back following his appointment as Chief Content Officer? It depends on whom you ask. Last December, WrestleVotes tweeted, "I'm told a handful of talent brought back in the rehiring wave over the summer have underperformed and severely underwhelmed Triple H and others since returning to the company." As sometimes happens, other sites refuted the report, leading to confusion over what's really going on behind the scenes. Ringside News reported shortly after WrestleVote's tweet, if there was any disappointment, Triple H wouldn't admit it to anyone. Not right now, it would reflect so badly on him. Fake news again. Recently, Fightful Select followed up on the report from late last year. Recently, a report emerged that Triple H had been underwhelmed by several of those talent. If that's true, WWE is certainly downplaying it, as a longtime employee contacted Fightful to say that in the following weeks that it had been severely downplayed within WWE. One source stated that it wasn't a thing that they would ever expect Triple H to say out loud, even if he did believe it. I feel the most credible part of this story is that Triple H isn't going to admit he's failed, assuming he even feels that way, especially given Vince McMahon's recent return. As several reports have pointed out, Triple H brought back so many wrestlers because he wanted to add depth to the WWE roster, something it lacked after WWE gutted its roster between 2020 and 2022. Next up, Brock Lesnar not punished for going off script. As previously reported, Lesnar deviated from the plans for his post-match rampage on Bobby Lashley and a WWE official. In this case, the Beast Incarnate hit a second F5 to the referee, a move which was originally reported as not planned. However, a Fightful Select report disputes this. Brock Lesnar's ref spot this time was planned. He was not punished for the unplanned one out of Royal Rumble. The WWE gives Brock Lesnar a great deal of latitude when it comes to what he has to do in the ring, which might explain why his matches sometimes appear to be phoned in. However, fans should remind themselves that Lesnar's reputation for wild behavior may be something encouraged by the WWE leaking bogus stories. Next up, WWE has big plans for Jay White. Speaking of the game, a recent report from WrestleVotes and Give Me Sports states Triple H and WWE Creative are hard at work on making plans for prospective signees, including free agent Jay White. In the middle of January, there was a decent-sized meeting which involved a lot of creative team and marketing people. It was about prospective free agents with people of all sorts being brought up. Jay was obviously on the list. I can tell you that they want him. They were hopeful that they could get him. They even started coming up with rough creative ideas to bring him in. As you've likely heard, AEW would like to sign White, and as of now there's no word on where the former New Japan Pro Wrestling sensation is headed to next. There's also talk of Kenny Omega being sought out by WWE. It is encouraging to hear the WWE is working on what to do with prospective hires before they sign them. A reminder that the long-term planning has become an integral part of the WWE storytelling process. Next up, FTR willing to return to AEW. A former AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR are currently taking a leave of absence from AEW. However, Dax Harwood noted on his podcast that even though he and Cash Wheeler are taking time off from the company, both men are ready to return to action if Khan needs them. Whether Khan needs them is a good question, as FTR haven't been used much in AEW's tag division. Another question is what's next for FTR once their AEW contract expires. While the team has hinted that they'd like to take time off to work in various independent promotions and elsewhere, there have been rumors of a jump back to the WWE. Where would you guys like to see FTR wrestle when the AEW deal ends? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a new AEW TV series coming? A recent trademark application suggests this, but a report from Ringside News also suggests the promotion may have bungled the trademark application. All Elite Wrestling just dropped a trademark application for what fans assume is a new show. The name of that show is supposedly going to be AEW Collision. However, that might have been a mistake. Fans who can spell quickly noticed that Tony Khan's company left an I out of that word. The word they were trying to spell was likely collision, but collision is what they trademarked. Do you guys think this was a mistake though? Was it intentional? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, how does WWE feel about Logan Paul? Is the WWE pleased with YouTuber turned WWE superstar Logan Paul? Well, you'd think so in light of the high profile programs he's been put into. However, if you're unsure how the WWE feels about Paul, consider these remarks made by Triple H at Elimination Chamber's post-show press conference. I gotta say, Paul was seemingly just born to do this, just everything he does is right on all levels. As we remarked before, Paul could be one of the WWE's biggest stars depending on whether he can stay healthy, a big what if in light of Paul's daredevil style in the ring. Next up, a wild rumors AEW Fight Forever details emerge. It's time to look at a wild rumor on AEW's Fight Forever console game. The long delayed game still has no official release date, but according to Ringside News, a Reddit user supposedly gained access to a photo by someone involved in assembling display cases for the game. Here are some of the more pertinent details. Talent roster combines 50 plus of the biggest names to enter the ring, plus brand new high-flying AEW stars. More than 10 gameplay modes include singles, tag team, 3-way, 4-way, ladder, casino battle royal, fullest count anywhere, unsanctioned lights out, exploding barbed wire death, and online match types. Now it's worth noting that we're not giving this report much credence, but we also know that some AEW fans and gamers are so starved for information about the game that they're willing to look at even the wildest of rumors. We'll leave it up to you to decide whether this is a legitimate story, a baseless rumor, or leaked info disguised as a rumor. Next up, Paul Ellering worked to bring AOP back in WWE. A time for an update on the tag team AOP and the rumors of a WWE return. Fightful Selectors reporting, we had mentioned recently that WWE had been interested in the Authors of Pain. Those we spoke to say the duo have an incredible amount of loyalty to Paul Ellering and that Ellering would be heading up negotiating the deal. Unlike most wrestling managers, Paul Ellering actually handles his wrestlers' business dealings. Next up, John Cena WWE return announced. As major breaking news from WWE is John Cena's WWE return has been confirmed. Cena will return on the March 6, 2023 edition of Raw, which takes place from Boston. This seems to confirm that Cena will indeed work WrestleMania in April. Is Cena about to confront Theory ahead of their rumored WrestleMania 39 encounter? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Mike Tyson buries AEW. And last but not least, the honeymoon between Mike Tyson and AEW appears to be over. Iron Mike recently popped up on The Undertaker's podcast, revealing that he'd prefer to go to WWE over AEW despite AEW paying him more money. As AEW fans know, Tyson has appeared at several AEW events, but apparently he's happier in Titanland. The Undertaker said that should the WWE bring the baddest man on the planet back in, he's confident WWE would know how to use him effectively. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.